Money in the
Yeah.
Bank is my favorite song on that album. And that's also the one that you're credited with producing by yourself. So what was different with Money in the Bank that you did that one by yourself?
Yeah, the credits were crazy with, with those projects. The credits were crazy, but I mean that was such a fun. It was such a fun session, man. Like everything happened organically. Like everyone just came in, and G Rap, being the loving heart that he is, man, he just let dudes like, yo, if you got something for it, just put something down. I wrote for the beat originally, like, and I let him know, like, I played him the beat. He was like, yeah, I rock with that. He wrote right there, and I let him know. I'm like, yo, I wrote something too for this. And he was like, yo, go kick it. And I was like, oh man, my God, man, G Rap gonna let me rhyme on the beat. And I did it. And he was like, yo, keep that. That shit is ill. Like, and it was like, yo, G Rap is saying this, man. This is incredible. Then Ant Live came in and Freddie Fox and were like, yo, what's up, man? Get a verse on this. And them dudes was on the record, man. It was just incredible. But why I got sole production credits on that one, I don't know why, and not the others. It was just, that process was just so crazy to me, man. But I'm just glad, to have any credit with anything associated with G Rap. Definitely.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal project. And with Money in the Bank, there's so much I want to ask you. But the thing, I think people remember the horns and stuff, but to me, the two other sonic things that I always thought were amazing were the bass line. And again, you
Yeah.
know, you if you rip, I mean, you know better than anybody, but that bass line is so sick on there, and it's really like, I don't want to say hidden, but if you
Yeah.
listen, it's so phenomenal. So why? Obviously, I love it, but why didn't you punch that up or make it a little louder?
Well, I mean, that's dealing with the SB 1200 days. So, you got this mono sampler that's 12-bit. There's but so much. Now I know technically, sonically, what I was dealing with before. And, it was just about a beat making thing before. It wasn't really even about getting anything sonically any place. It was just like, all right, cool, this is what we're doing. We getting busy. It's a hip hop thing, so but now I know, like, you got a mono machine that's 12-bit. There's but so much you're gonna get out of that. If anything, I needed to pump the drums up, but it did good for what it was. It did good, especially for those times. There are not many beats and songs that are too much like brighter or bigger or better than that at that time. Like everyone was going for that grimy sound.
And with the grime, you also had the echo on the drum, which I always that to
Yeah,
me, that and the bass line to me, the horns are amazing, but the echo and
right.
the bass line, man, is just phenomenal.
Yeah,
Um,
nah, that's those drums. Sometimes you catch the natural reverb from the record itself, and it had that. And I think the engineer Anton Puchanski, I think he put the little bit. He knew what it needed, and we were good.
no, it definitely delivers. And I was intrigued because Ant Live and Freddie Fox, Angie Rap, of course, are all phenomenal on the song. But I was also intrigued because getting to know you as a rapper and now as a producer, uh, that one, your rhymes were a little tougher.
Right. Yo, it's funny, man. It's funny because Little Fame could, from M.O.P, he could say that rhyme to me and say it like I'm saying it in a kind of like, I don't know, I'm kind of like a little bit shy. I'm like, yo, you get upset when you hear, but when Fame says it to me, it's so crazy. He's like, yo, you know what you was kicking back then? And so I don't know. Once I got that cosign, that love, I was like, all right, cool. But yeah, nah, I was nervous, man. I was nervous to be in a booth and with on a G rap song, man. That was a lot. Just coming from being 100% obscure to like, now you with G rap kind of thing. It was crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. But I
And,
mean, my heart, I always, I come from battling. I come from like breakdance battling and stuff like that. So I always, had that battling spirit, the friendly battling spirit that we all have in hip hop. So just to kick some flagrant shit was nothing to me. Like I always, you get upset when you hear that type of shit. It's like that was what we was all, I mean, Beat Street, that's just a hip hop thing. We always just like say some crazy flagrant shit just in the name of battling, so that's where I was coming from with that. And it worked. It was cool.
I mean, it obviously didn't get as famous Money in the Bank, but it did remind me of the symphony to a degree in the sense of dudes kicking like super hardcore rhymes and it just being nonstop. And I just always loved that song, man.
Yeah, me
That's
too,
amazing.
man. Thank you. Definitely, me too.
Yeah, yeah. Now with Talk Like Sex on Wanted Dead or Alive, that one it says G-Rap did by himself. So what? Why?
Yeah, I don't. Yo, like I said, with those credits, man, I don't know what I don't know, but it's crazy because I played the beat like like I said, I would go to school, go to night school, I was in night school because it was like, all these, so I had like I had to make up in school because I'm coming in late this time, all kinds of things. Got to leave early that time. But so I would come from night school. So one night I came from night school and I had this idea in my mind, like I just always wanted to go out of the norm with samples. So I had the idea. I was like, yo, I got to listen to that Sil Johnson joint, man. Damn, I can't even, Different Strokes. So, and I'm like, yo, man. And just that other part came on to the song, and I'm like, let me see if I could chop the phrase out of it. And so I did real quick. And then it was time to go to the studio because G-Rap used to pick me up. He used to be like, yo, all right, cool, we're going to the lab. It'd be like 10, 11 o'clock, something like that. So me getting back from night school, like maybe like 8, 9 o'clock, like I quickly just chopped it up. And then boom, G-Rap was downstairs. I, went outside. Boom, we went to the lab and I played the loop. And it was crazy because he sat there and he was like, yo, this is crazy because I got a song that goes with this. Because I brought the record with me and then I started messing with the Can't You Dig It, Honey, and all of that. And he had apparently already been writing like some rated X, like kind of porn song, and it all just came together. He was like, oh shit, I was writing something about this already. And then I started kind of like, and then Dr. Butcher was scrap. It was just, it just all came together like magic, man. Like that was a, but why he's only credited for, I don't know. I can't tell.
Fair enough. But the another big question I had about Wanted Dead or Alive is coming off of obviously Marley Marl with Road to the Riches, coming into this project, not only with Eric B and G Rap and all these different things, but for you being so young and I'm assuming loving all of what Marley Marl did with G Rap, how were you, if at all, affected, influenced, worried, nervous, excited? Like, how did that factor into coming from a great album like Road to the Riches to now, like, hey, you're up, let's make it happen?
Yeah, nah, I wasn't intimidated at all because I thought more than anything like Marley Marl was an engineer all-star. Like Marley was more on the engineering tip. Like he could put the beats together really nice and make them slam, like the 808, all of that. But I was coming from like this new perspective where it was like rare records. It was like, yo, what record did he flip? Like that kind of thing. So that's the phase we were starting to get into, because a lot of the samples started being like reused and dudes are like, all right, that's the same, funky drummer sample. It was like, all right, well, this is something different now. And that's the angle I was coming from for it. So it was like some new, fresh sounds, new, fresh samples. And I was just sticking my chest out with that because I thought that was the task more than, you know, getting the beats big and having it sonically like slamming for many. Like I was more on the like, yo, this is a rare record and no one's heard this sample yet, you know. So it was, you know, it was that phase of where hip hop was going. You know, dudes started, I mean, because it was crazy how much the samples were being used. It was like you heard funky drum on every record. It was like PE, these ones, that. So to hear some new sounds was just that was my desire. And yo, we did it, but I should have also been kind of more into, you know, the equipment and getting the beat sounding bigger and things like that. But yo, it worked, man. And people still, you know, to this day, they cherish those sounds.
Absolutely. I'm one of them. So
yeah.
as you were progressing and getting into Watch Roger Do His Thing and Large Professor 12-inch, also on actual records, with that, those are very, especially Watch Roger Do His Thing is sonically so different from Think and Adam and then even the Kool rap stuff. So how did you balance being so creative, but then also sonically taking like a risk with organs and all these different sounds that weren't really standard in rap at the time?
Well, I mean, they were standard. The organs and things like that were standard, but we were coming into a more sample-based part of hip-hop now. And I had my partner, JD Drumsticks. He's now DJ Pretty Black, but I had my partner, and like this guy's like church-trained organist. He did a lot of the keyboards he did all of the keyboards on Watch Roger Do His Thing. And he even worked on Wanted Dead or Alive with me, like Bad to the Bone. He's playing the keyboards and they credited him. I love that. And so it was just different challenges because you still had the guys that, you know, you had some hip hop guys who were like, oh man, y'all dudes with these samples, I don't sample and all of that kind of stuff. And it was just more so just showing dudes like, all right, well, we could get busy without samples too, you know, that kind of thing. But I more prefer samples, you know. I was like, because it just took me back to that feel of the park where dudes put on them rare records and it was like, yo, what's that shit? Like, what is that he's cutting up? That kind of thing. So I always been into that. Like that's more hip hop to me than anything. And that's just what I wanted to further.
Okay. And lyrically on Watch Roger Do His Thing, I was always curious as we get to the 12-inch on the cover, was that the fourth person blurred out, not you, Sir Scratch or K Cut? Was that supposed to represent Roger? Or what was?
Yeah. That's crazy because the photographer Peter Bodke, that's my homeboy Van, and he was telling him, he's like, yo, go rock back and forth like this. And so that's how I got the blurred out part like that. But yeah, that's what it was supposed to be. He was supposed to be Roger on the cover. That was dope. That's
a question I've had since 1990. So thank you.
Yeah, we were in Left Rack, man. We were in Left Rack, right across the LIE in Left Rack, right under the little. There's a over cross on 99th Street, and we were right over there. That was cool day.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV back with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
There's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The history of gangster rap in stores now.